Hello, my loves, and welcome back to Can't Stop Talking podcast. I am cozy in my bed. It is 9:28 at night. I haven't podcasted from my bed in so long, but you guys know I usually take Fridays off, and I'm going dress shopping for my friend who is getting married at 11 a.m. And I really wanted to be consistent with my podcasting. So you got to do what you got to do. So here we are. I wish I could take a picture for you guys because the setup is like hilarious. And you guys know I just got a new expensive $300 mic. And so like holding this big mic in my bed is just so funny. But duty calls, right? And I have an incredible episode for you today. Also, I just want to say thank you to all my listeners. I had one of my listeners message me this week, as you guys always do, and it makes my day. And she just sent me 10 voice messages about how much she loves this podcast, how much it changed her life. And I just want to say, you never know who is silently listening and watching. So keep going. I had never talked to this girl in my life. I had no idea that my podcast meant so much to her. And after receiving those messages, we're like besties. So message me whenever. Any of you guys listening on Instagram, I love to connect. I don't just say that, I mean that. If I could be friends with everyone in the whole wide world, I would be. I mean, maybe not like the bad guys in the world, but you know what I mean. But that made my literal day, my week, my month. And the message here is it's not about me. It's about the fact that I am in business. I've been in business for 4 years, and there are still times that I'm like, hello, is anyone listening? And I just want you to know, even when it feels like you are talking to the void, you are changing lives, and you have no idea how many lives you are secretly changing. And just ask yourself, like, how many posts have I commented on that changed my life, right? You probably didn't even comment on it. I'm on TikTok like a million hours a day, and I'm not commenting on anything. And so even if you're not getting the likes, the comments, the engagement, people reaching out to you, that doesn't mean that your stuff isn't changing their lives. And I just want you to remember that. Wow, maybe I think the best at night. I'm like, we could end the podcast right there, but we're not going to because we have an incredible episode today. I made a TikTok on this and I was obsessed with this topic. So naturally, I had to make it into a podcast episode. The podcast episode is Everything is a Belief. And you will become so wildly successful when you realize that other people's impossible is possible for you. I am so excited for this story. I've told this story a lot of times, but I really dug in to the semantics of this story. And I'm going to tell it to you right now. I'm like, what am I talking about, Sam? Like, what? But no, I know you guys are on track with me and you get my ADHD and you love me for it. So you're still with me. Anyways, you will become so wildly successful when you realize that other people's impossible is possible for you. For years, scientists believed that the 4-minute mile was physically impossible. And because scientists believe that, other people also believe that as well. So everyone was there like, yeah, this 4-minute mile, it's impossible, right? And they tried and tried and tried over and over again for years, and no one could do it. They literally, scientists thought that you would like exert so much energy that you would die. Like that's what they thought. And so other people believed it. And they also believed if it was possible that it would have to be like on a certain track, the conditions would have to be like 68 and sunny, and there would have to be no wind, and everything would have to go right for a human being to physically be able to run a 4-minute mile. Now, here comes along a guy named Roger, and he said, hold my fucking beer. He said, hold up, right? Until Roger came around, the 4-minute mile was impossible. To everyone, it was impossible, right? But he said, and I do not quote, I made this up, but he said in my mind, just because it's impossible for you doesn't mean it's impossible for me. And what happened next is he became the first person to break the 4-minute mile. The best part, he subparly trained for this. It was on a cold, wet track. The conditions were less than perfect, right? So you're like, Sam, what the hell? This is insane. How is this happening, right? And how did he do it? I'm going to tell you right freaking now. And you guys are going to be shocked, but you're not going to be shocked because it's my podcast, right? Roger Bannister approached his training with a belief that he could break the 4-minute mile. It started with that belief that he could do it. But it wasn't the belief alone. He had to reprogram his subconscious mind to envision and achieve this breakthrough. So let's break it down, right? He did this through a combination of visualization, self-talk, and unique mental strategy. Everything I teach in my money manifestation membership. And what he did is he visualized, which involved mentally rehearsing the act of running a sub 4-minute mile. He spent countless hours picturing himself crossing the line in under 4 minutes. And he wasn't just seeing it, he was feeling it, experiencing the joy and the exhaustion that came with the accomplishment. Self-talk also played a crucial role. He constantly reinforced his belief in the possibility of breaking the barrier. He trained his mind to accept the 4-minute mile as a feasible goal rather than an impossible dream. He turned the impossible to possible and credited his success to visualization and reprogramming the subconscious mind. Everything that I live, breathe, and tell you guys, it's not about the strategy. You know, in Vanderpump Rules, when James is like, it's not about the pasta. That's how I feel. It's not about the strategy. It is about reprogramming your subconscious mind to believe that you can accomplish your goal. When we do this, you turn the impossible to possible. If you don't think that you can hit 10K months, you're not going to be able to hit 10K months. If you don't think that you could hit $50,000 months, you're not going to hit $50,000 months. Why? Our brains have 3 filters in it. A filter for deleting information, distorting information, and generalizing information. So if you do not believe that you could hit a $50,000 month, a $10,000 month, whatever it is, your brain will physically delete that information. And this is why reprogramming your mind for success is the single most important thing you can do in your business and in your life. And you want to know the craziest freaking thing about this story? That 46 days later, this guy, John, also ran a 4-minute mile. Why? Because once Roger was like, this is possible, then John's brain said this is possible as well. And now, today, thousands of people have followed in their footsteps, me being one of them. I'm just kidding. There's no fucking way I have ever ran a 4-minute mile. Doesn't mean I can't. I could reprogram my freaking mind to get there. I know I could, but that's not something that it's not on my bucket list. So anyways, like I said, you might be wondering, like, how does this apply to us today? Well, Roger's story is a powerful reminder of the impact our mindset can have on our achievements. By reprogramming our subconscious mind, we can break through the barriers in our own lives, whether they're physical, mental, or emotional. And let's just say that you have a goal that's out of reach, like a business goal, right? The first step is to address the mental barrier that might be holding you back, visualize yourself, talk to yourself with positive reinforcement, and believe that the goal is within reach. And this is absolutely everything that I teach in my money manifestation membership. And the reason that my clients get such incredible results is because of this. Sorry, I paused it because I literally wanted to pull up a testimonial, a success story from today that was posted in the group. And I quote, this one I actually quote. She wrote, lots of wins, had a post go super viral, made passive sales from it, had a client re-sign at a higher rate for 3 more months, and had a nice 4-figure day. This week, I'm on fire. The testimonials that come in through my membership are incredible. But am I shocked? No. I've seen this time and time with my clients when they reprogram their subconscious mind and start manifesting wealth, followers, community, sales. It all starts to happen. They think it's the strategy, and then they reprogram their subconscious mind, and they realize that that was the key all along. And I say this every single time. It's not about the strategy, because if it was about the strategy, we would all use one strategy and that strategy would work and we would all be super rich. The reason that 2 different people can use the same strategy and one takes off and the other one doesn't is because of their mindset, the energy, their subconscious mind behind that. And that is the freaking truth. As you can see with this, right? So many people are probably doing the same strategy running to hit that 4-minute mile, but the one who reprogrammed his subconscious mind was the person who was able to do it. And so the last thing I want to say on this episode, I actually don't think it's the last thing. You guys know, like, it's really fun podcasting right now this late at night, but like I'm saying crazy stuff. So let me know if you like this podcast episode, because I feel like I'm doing it in a different way and I'm cracking myself up. So yeah, just message me. Anyways, I wanted to get back to the subpar training on a cold, wet track, because everyone had said, like, for this to happen, they thought that it would have to be perfect conditions. And Roger ended up being like, no, I barely trained for this. Just kidding. He probably trained a lot, but they said that he subpar trained and it was on a cold, wet track. And what this made me realize, right, is everything is a belief, right? Everything that you think or you have been told you need to do to be successful is a lie, right? We think that you need a photo shoot to look more professional so that people will buy from you. You think you need more followers, right? You think you need more story views, or you blame it on the fact that you need better branding, or you think that you need to be more professional. But these are all beliefs getting in your way. People told Roger that it had to be a nice day, right? That it had to be 68 degrees and there had to be like no wind. Yet he was able to run a 4-minute mile with subpar training on a cold, wet track. He didn't need any of those things. And I want you to realize that you thinking you need something outside of yourself to get these clients, to get your next income level, is BS. It's bullshit, right? All you need is your belief in yourself and to reprogram your mind and see your success as inevitable. And that's when it happens. And you guys know this is true because I always talk about this. I've had one photo shoot, right? I'm the least professional person in the world. I probably going to be drinking by 11 a.m. tomorrow, looking at bridal dresses for my friend. Like, I do not know how to spell. It does not matter, because I did not make these things limiting beliefs for why I can't have a successful business. And when you look around, you will find reasons to disprove all these things. There are people making millions of dollars with like 2,000 followers. There are people who have 100. I used to have 100 story views and I was making 10K months, right? I don't have a photo shoot. And so remember that don't decide that you need these things in order to hit your goal, because when you do that, you are going to need those things to hit your goal. When you decide that you do not need anything and that you are worthy right now as you are, it can happen instantly. So the last thing for real that I want to say is this reminds me of when I was starting this business and my dad told me that I should not quit my job and that I should get a real job and work as a life coach in corporate America. He did not believe this was possible for me. But I knew that just because he didn't think it was possible, that had nothing to do with me. Those were his own limiting beliefs. What was happening was he thought it was impossible for him. And do not take advice from people who are not where you want to be. And so, what did I do? I didn't listen. I believed in myself harder than I've ever believed in myself before. I ended up quitting my job, telling him, my dad, that I got fired. He still has no freaking clue. And 6 months later, when I built this business and I hit my first 10K month, I heard my dad bragging on the phone to his friends about my first 10K month. And then this year, my sister called me and she said, "You'll never guess what dad said." And I said, "What?" And he said that I should build a business just like my sister. He went from someone who thought it was impossible for me to do this to my biggest supporter. Nothing is impossible when you set your mind to it. Everything is a belief, and people are just projecting their own limiting beliefs onto you. But once you realize that you are incredible and that you are able to set your mind to anything that you do, that's when your life changes. So when you decide you are going to be successful and you reprogram your subconscious mind, it does not matter what anyone else says in your life. That's exactly what will happen. I love you guys so freaking much. If you want to join the membership, I'm going to leave the link to the membership below. It is the best thing I have ever created. If you want to come in there, reprogram your subconscious mind, start attracting followers, sales, going viral, community, new levels of income, then I'd be happy. But my one thing I want to say is I do not want you joining the membership if you're not going to commit to reprogramming your subconscious mind. But I do want you to join the membership if you're not only going to join it, but you're going to fully commit yourself to this process. Because when you do that, your reality will never be the same. I love you guys so much. If you like this podcast, please let me know. Mistakes and all. I love hearing from you guys. Have the most incredible week ever. I'm sending you just so much love, so much light.